Hey guys, what's going on? I'm SureDSX, and today I have a very exciting gameplay commentary for you guys. Now, this is a 15 for 0 flawless S&D gameplay, but not only that, it's actually Champions League Master gameplay. At the time of playing, I was ranked 24th Master Division, which is of course the highest. And to add to the excitement, we're playing a team of 4. And not only that, but it's also not one of those extremely dominated games where our team completely stomps on the other one, but you'll actually see a lot of rounds where they completely decimate my team, and it's only left up to me to clutch the round, and, well, you'll see what happens. Now, it's also a little different from the normal gameplays I put up, not just because it's League, but also because, as you can see, I'm actually using a secondary, and I know a few of you guys who've seen my other videos are like, whoa, that's like the first time I've ever seen Shorty pull out a secondary. And, well, that's because I don't even carry one normally. But that's because those are public matches and I prefer, I'm the type of person who would pretty much reload his sniper under fire as opposed to pulling or even carrying a secondary in public. But this is Master League. All you care about here is winning. Nothing else matters. So I take a slightly different approach, and I want to just, give you guys some tips on that. But just as a little overview of what you guys can expect in this commentary, because it is a little long, I will actually give you a little overview of my class setup, league play in general, and then give you some tips and tactics for S&D in both leagues. Because, well, I'm pretty sure you can actually learn a little bit from all of this. And as a final little perk, the team of 4 we're actually playing against, who I believe are Spanish. Well, as this game goes on, they're going to get increasingly aggressive, and quite frankly, they're going to just start raging and swearing at me in Spanish. So, you guys might find that entertaining. Anyway, now, let's get into the actual thing. So, let me just kind of set the stage, or the mood, so to speak, and kind of introduce you to Champions League play. Now, League play, of course, is just the option everyone has underneath public match and anyone can play, but the way it works is you have to first get ranked and so on. Now, I'm not going to talk about this again because I already explained ranking and all of that in my previous video on League play, so if you're curious about that, you can check it out. There's a link at the top of the screen. But, let me just say that right now, Champions League is basically 4v4 and it follows all of the professional rules, as in all of the rules that are used by MLG and their competitions and in GB matches and so on. As in, there's a lot of restrictions on, for example, using explosives, there's no goes, there's no UAV or counter UAV, things like that, in that nature. So there's a pretty, serious feel about it, as in everyone's trying their best to win, nothing else matters, that kind of stuff. And of course, I don't know if you guys know this, but in Season 3, the top 8 people actually got to go to the Winter Championship, or the Winter MLG Championship. So, there's a lot of perks to playing League. Now, a little final one, which I'm going to mention really briefly, because I'll probably do another video on this, is you can get a ton of XP. Now, for you guys who are trying to rank up in public, playing League is actually great, because even if you lose, you still get 7.5k XP, and you get 10k XP if you win. So, there's a little incentive there for if you guys are trying to level up or get the Master Prestige or anything like that. But anyway, now about my class. Since you guys now understand how, this is a bit of a serious situation, and by the way, yay for another clutch, but because it's such a serious type of atmosphere, and because everyone's trying their best to win, when you're playing something like S&D, for example, you're not gonna run into someone who's just sprinting around the map, rushing and trying to shoot you out 316. That just doesn't happen. Everyone tries to play as defensively as possible and pretty much do whatever they can to win. So with that in mind, let me get into my class setup. So what I'm using today is, of course, a DSR-50, and you can see the perks on the right side. You can even see the entire class right there for a second, if you pause it. But it's basically my normal class with extreme conditioning and dexterity to, make me nicely athletic and be able to actually run around. And of course the DSR-50 with ballistic CPU and fast mags, that's nothing new, that's just my normal setup. The only weird part here is the fact that I'm using Flak Jacket, and that's because Ghost or Hardline are not allowed in Champions League. And the other big addition is the fact that I'm using a Cap 40, and it's a Cap 40 silenced. Now, my reason for that is because, well, when you're playing S&D, and this is kind of like my S&D class, or S&D League class, as you guys can probably tell by now, but when you're playing S&D, being silenced and not letting your enemies know where you are is actually quite useful. And obviously the reason for a secondary, or the reason why anybody cares around a secondary, is so you can have an advantage in the short range. By the way, little side tip over there. I don't know if you guys noticed what I did with my lightning strike, but because it's S&D, you can actually ping your lightning strike a couple of times, or you can do it once every round. Because every round you will get another, ping where you actually spot everyone on the radar, and because there are no UAVs, no ghosts and stuff like that, it's actually quite useful. So if you ever get, a lightning strike, I usually try and keep it and maybe use it only when we've kind of won the game, and otherwise just use it as a UAV each round. But anyway, that's just a little tip for you guys. Now, back to my class setup. The reason for the Cap 40, like I said, is because it's very, very nice. And it's such a contrast from, the bolt-action sniper rifle, because, you guys know, a sniper rifle, as good as you are, it doesn't really matter. It's challenging, and the worst part is, it's not forgiving. As in, if you miss that first shot, especially in a game like this, where you're playing against people who are not gonna miss you for too long, yeah, you're gonna die. So, that's basically the reason with the Cap 40. I mean, that is how I would play if I were trying to win, and this is the case. Now, you can also see the War Machine, which is hilariously awesome, and it's one of the random kill streaks, or score streaks rather, that I use all the time in League play, because it's great for, let's say, clearing out hard points or getting a kill or two in S&D. It's nice and powerful. Well, it's really, really powerful, and if you want to tick some people off, it's definitely the way to go, because they're not going to like you tubing them. But in all fairness, if you listen to this guy, I don't think they like me anyway. Listen. Yeah, if you understand Spanish like I do a little bit, well, those were some fun words right there. But anyway, enough about my class setup. Now, the last little thing I wanted to talk about today is kind of like just general tactics. Because in all fairness, when you get to League play, especially at this point, you're not going to run into a lot of people that don't have gun skill. As in, at this point, it's kind of the assumption that everyone can aim, and you're not going to run into too many people who, spray all around with a PPW or something and don't end up hitting you. I mean, I hope you run into those type of people, but it's really not the likely scenario. So, because you're assuming that everyone can kind of aim and play properly, a lot of it comes down to the little things, or the little details. And what I mean by that is stuff like awareness. Now, for a game type like S&D, awareness is so important, because if you have a general sense of where the enemy team is, what type of strategy they're trying to use, how well organized they are, where they might be going, or just their general playstyle, you can actually get a huge advantage. Now here you notice that a couple of rounds in a row, they actually, rushed behind us, or they were trying to be aggressive by rushing behind us, and that's how they picked off a bunch of my teammates. So, eventually I realized, okay, let's stop that and wait for them to actually come around and kill them off. And that's exactly what you have to do. You have to be very tactical, you have to be very smart in how you play, and just think through everything. Now, this is a little fun fact, I don't know if many of you guys know about me, but way before I got into COD or console gaming or console first-person shooters or stuff like that, I used to play Counter-Strike on the PC for years, like basically from the first one up until the end of Source. But there, all you really played was S&D, as in, like, that game mode kind of probably came from Counter-Strike, because, that was the one game mode everyone played. And if you played serious Counter-Strike, that's kind of what it came down to. It's getting behind cover, it's knowing how your teammates played, being able to communicate with your teammates, and most of all, figuring out what the enemy team was doing and how to circumvent that and kick their ass. So, as this game is winding down, I just want to say thanks for watching, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know if you actually, like League play, or like seeing League play, because I love playing League play. It's a lot of what I play, and I would definitely be up for uploading some more. So, with all this, listen to the beautiful words they're gonna call me at the end. Oh yeah, something about my mother and dying, and oh, I'm sure it was a very well thought out insult. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you next time. Peace.
El Shorty ese, Shorty con tu puta madre. El fucking madre Shorty.